This time, she said she did not want to name Diddy. She said she was afraid that she wouldn't be believed and that later on, the rapper would harm her.
People around Diddy and what everybody knows.
What happened from 8 to 11? And why did all Kim's stuff come up missing?
Diddy, Devi.
It's now being alleged, and the implications are chilling, that Diddy went as far as attempting to silence Gone Deal and Jaguar Wright after they publicly spoke out about his alleged crimes. If these claims are accurate, this isn't just scandal anymore. It's something far darker. Hearing the accusations directly from those involved sends a cold shock through the spine, because this isn't rumor passed through the internet. This is, as they say, straight from the horse's mouth. And if even part of this is true, it forces one terrifying question. How far was he really willing to go to keep the truth buried?
So it's seemingly been confirmed that Diddy tried to put out a hit on Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright for exposing his crimes. And this is genuinely bone-chilling. Hear it from the horse's mouth itself.
What happens with exposures? You make yourself vulnerable to all kinds of attacks, seen and unseen. What happened to my friend? When he passed away, there was $250,000 on my head and $150,000 on his. But what if I had decided to go back with my head held low and said, Sean, I'm willing to play the game, and then found a way to get inside of him and move him around?
Cam, let me tell you something, man. If I worried about what somebody would do for me, I wouldn't be the man that I am. I keep my head on the swivel. I do what I have to do to protect myself and my family. All I know is that I know one thing for certain, two things for sure. I got people out here that love me. You understand? And if something happened to me, I know people's going to make sure you meet me wherever we got to go after this life.
And this revelation doesn't stand alone. It comes on the heels of earlier claims from Gone Deal, who previously stated that Diddy attempted to contact him directly, an effort he says was meant to pressure him into silence. When viewed together, these allegations paint a troubling pattern, not just damage control, but an escalating attempt to suppress anyone willing to speak out. And as more voices step forward, the question becomes impossible to ignore. How many others were warned, threatened, or quietly pushed to disappear?
He'd be coming back to New York, and somebody was telling me that, yo, listen here, yo, he trying to get witnesses. Remember when they released that first thing of Cassie, and I said that Diddy was trying to contact people for character witnesses, people for who he had problems with before, whatever like that, and trying to talk to them in the whole 9 yards. That's when they dropped that thing with Cassie. The Homeland Security had some agency or whatever like that that deals with that, dropped that thing on Cassie to show everybody, oh, y'all want to help him? Y'all, this is what y'all want to help? This is who y'all want to, you know, say that he ain't never did nothing. This is what you want to put your brand on? And everybody started backing up from him. Everybody was talking about, yo, man, Cassie was a gold digger, Cassie was this, that, and the third. She loved it in the whole 9 yards. And then when they seen that, all his friends just, or so-called friends, went away. So him not having a bond is not surprising.
Yeah, and he offered them $50 million, and they still denied his bond.
He should have waited to see what they was gonna offer. Because if he got $50 million to get him and offer that, then they think like, yo, that's too little of a money.
And you right about Diddy's phone being tough, because news came out that his former bandmate from Dirty Money, she called the other group member Gunn 58 times trying to get her to stop the lawsuit against Diddy.
She ain't the only one he was trying to get in contact with. You understand? He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me. Enough is enough. Oh, okay. You tell Big Mama that enough is enough. You can't tell Wolf Mama enough is enough. You tell D Ferg Mama enough is enough. You understand? You tell all those people who supported you and they survivors, enough is enough.
You didn't tell me about that. So he tried to get somebody to reach out to you?
Now I got a phone call from Kirk Burrows. And Kirk Burrows, and I ain't gonna even give this guy no play. Not Kirk Burrows, but one of the Puff dudes that I know that's real close to him said, Kirk told me, yo, he wanna reach out to you, Gene. He wanna speak to you. I said, speak to me for what? What do you want to speak to me for? If he's trying to speak to me, it's for Puff. Point blank. I know the dude. I know how close he is to Puff. He's been with Puff from day one. So he ain't got nothing to say to me, bro. But Kirk Burrows did say to me that the dude said enough is enough. When do it becomes enough? Yo, because, bro, listen, I didn't ask to be put in this situation. You understand? And a lot of people ain't gonna understand this. Because a lot of people wouldn't give up what I've given up to be in this situation. You understand? My whole thing about it is, when you lean on right, you ain't gonna never turn to wrong.
And perhaps the most terrifying part is this. If these allegations are true, putting hits out on people may not even be the worst of what Diddy is accused of. Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright may have real reason to fear, because Diddy has long been linked, at least by insiders and investigators, to some of the darkest chapters in hip-hop history. A recent Rolling Stone expose revisited explosive claims surrounding the murder of the notorious B.I.G., revealing that Biggie Smalls was allegedly preparing to leave Bad Boy Records just before his death. Multiple sources interviewed for the article stated that Biggie was locked in a legal battle to reclaim his publishing rights, while Diddy was reportedly determined to keep control, famously declaring he would never give them up. Renowned hip-hop photographer Monique Bunn shared that Biggie personally confided in her about his plans to leave, saying she knew it as fact because he told her himself. Another source echoed this sentiment bluntly. Everyone wanted to leave Puffy. Everyone eventually does. And according to Gene Deal, Diddy may have known that too, claiming that Biggie was ultimately dealt with. If even part of this history is true, the implications are chilling, and the danger facing today's whistleblowers becomes impossible to ignore.
Say Biggie was asking for him coming to LA so soon after Tupac got killed, and him getting on the radio rapping Long Kiss Goodnight.
Man, you would get 100 people in the room, and out of the 100 people, probably 3 would say it was all right for Big to be in LA. 97% of those people would say he had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man, look. You gotta look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk, he couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time in LA for him to finish your album when in fact you got your own studio, Daddy's house? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this bullshit, man. Let's stop doing these interviews, man, about this, because people ain't getting it. He did not want the beef with the Crips. Puff ain't want the beef with the Dog Pound, Snoop them or whatever. Big started that beef. You understand what I'm saying? Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all want the I'm gonna put him out the pasture. Catch him if you can. If you the wolf, if you got that wolf in you, catch him if you can. Why in the hell you would put your man in a situation by sending him to Cali to work on your album, when you know not his Nimitz, but your Nimitz, was just murdered by that you was running with. Why would you do that? Oh, they just wanted to do business. Business mind, man. No homo. Because you know how some of these kids out here be thinking, right? They hear that. Keep it real, man. Why is he out there working on Puff album when you got the Hit Factory? You got Daddy's House. You got the place where Tupac was shot at, Quad Studio. There's plenty of places Big could have been. Why the West Coast? Come on, man. And then you got a half retarded ass like Lil C. Big love Cali. Big wanted his publishing. Big wanted his marketing. He knew he couldn't go nowhere and be who he needed to be without it. So if Puff would have told that nigga to go to hell with gasoline draws on, that nigga would have went to hell. All money ain't good money, brother.
The Notorious B.I.G. story came to a devastating end in March 1997 when Biggie Smalls was tragically gunned down in a killing that remains one of the most haunting and unresolved moments in hip-hop history.
All you guys go to the vibe party.
It was 23 of us.
23 people go to the vibe party. And then at one point, the fire department starts to shut it down.
Now it's only 12 of us. Because them motherfuckers that left, they must have felt something. You know, what's his name? Chuck Bone. That was Puff friend. Yeah, he that was with us, Chuck Bone. They must have felt something and they left and went to Steve Stout's house in the hills. Because Steve Stout was giving a party that day too.
Okay, so half the entourage leaves. Half is still there. You go and grab all the SUVs and have them pull out in front so when Big and Puff and all them come out, they can just jump in their cars.
And we can leave.
Okay. So tell me about the scene outside as you're waiting for everyone to get in their cars and start to take off.
So first we lined up parallel to the door in which they have to come out, right? You follow me?
Yep.
All right, we lined up parallel to where the doors they have to come out. So if they come out right here, the car's right there. They're right there. So then Big is taking his time because you know his fibular bones and his thighs are broken or whatever like that. You know, they fractured or whatever. So it's taking them a long time to come out. So they get out, Big gets in the car, everybody get loaded up. I said, come on, let's go. We ready to go. Puff is running back and forth like, yo, he'll see a girl, he'll go grab a girl. He said, yo, Gene, remember her, she coming to the party tomorrow. I'm like, you remember her? What the fuck is you talking about, bro? I never seen him act like this ever, because he don't act like that. When I said to Paul said we was ready to go, I said, all right, follow us. I tried to ride on the side of the car. Puff said, yo, Gene, what you doing? I said, I'm riding on the side of the car. I'm having my gun out. I'm on the side of the car. At the time, I'm 265, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the street 30, you know what I mean? So I was a little slimmer back then. So he says to me, Gene, if you don't get in this car, you ain't gonna never work for Bad Boy ever again. I said, man, how the f you gonna try to tell me how to do my job? He said, Gene, we don't need that look. We don't need that look. Get in the car. As I go to get in the car, this motherfucker reached down and let his seat all the way back. So now I gotta put my legs sideways. I'm like, yo, what the f is you doing? And so then Kenny said, you ready? He said, you ready? I said, Kenny, run the next 3 lights. Run the next 3 lights, Kenny. Kenny said, for what? I said, motherfucker, run the next 3 lights, Kenny, or I'm gonna drive. Run the next 3 lights. Kenny just took off. When he took off, we got past the light. because it was a flashing red light. We got past the light, and we got across the street. Tone, who was behind me, said, yo, somebody in the car pointing a gun at Big.
In the immediate aftermath of Biggie's death, Diddy was allegedly quick to shift focus from grief to control. According to reports, Arista and Bad Boy's former publicity director, Lee Joey L.J. Brookshire, who had been with Biggie just one day before he was killed, asked for time to mourn. Instead, she claims Diddy instructed her to prioritize one thing above all else, making sure Biggie's posthumous album, Life After Death, debuted at #1. Gene Deal has also alleged that misinformation has been deliberately circulated for years about who is truly responsible for Biggie's murder. And if those claims hold weight, it raises an unsettling question. Was the truth buried long before the case ever went cold?
About this, before the interview, you was telling me about this. Captain Shaheed Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. You was telling me that a platform is trying to blame him for the murder of Biggie. Like, what's the deal with that?
Because Brother Shaheed is dead. That's why they're trying to push the narrative now. When Brother Shaheed was alive, they wouldn't dare to say anything to that nature. I met Brother Shaheed at the Million Man March in 1995 or 90? That was 95, right? 1995, I met Brother Shaheed at the Million Man March. October the 16th, my birthday, right. I seen him at Farrakhan. We was at Farrakhan's, the house they had for Farrakhan. We all got our badges because we all walked backstage together. Not backstage, but back at the Capitol where the minister spoke to the masses. I met Brother Shaheed then, seen him a couple of times before. You understand? I know Brother Shaheed when I seen him. Brother Shaheed was not the Muslim who walked up to me. All of a sudden, now everybody trying to put the pictures together and say all this old dumb shit. It didn't happen like that. Was not Brother Shaheed who came up to me. I wouldn't have showed Brother Shaheed my gun because I knew I would have been safe around him. I've been around him with Brother Mustafa, Farrakhan's son. So now that he's dead, everybody trying to post the pictures side by side to the guy that we identified and everything like that. Get out of here, man. Brother Shaheed was every bit about 6'4.5", 6'5". I would have known who he was when he walked down the street and walked away. Get out of here, man. That's just these content creators, people trying to make up shit, and people trying to spill the narrative from them crooked cops not doing the right thing to Big and on Big's case.
So who's the ones pushing that narrative?
I don't even want to get them to spin on your show, bro. You understand? I don't want to get them to spin on your show, but the people out there know that they some felonious content creators that's trying to put Gene Deal name in everything because you make this shit hotter than fish grease.
So you don't think it was him? You think it was Amir Muhammad?
I know it wasn't him. Ain't no think. I know it wasn't him. He wasn't the one with the blue suit, white shirt, and blue bow tie with the peanut head. It wasn't him.
Do you think it will ever come out that Amir Muhammad did it? Because, I mean, you've been saying that for a while. And the dude out here living his life, he do real estate now. And, I mean, that's crazy if he killed Biggie and he out here, you know, doing real estate.
My man, it's some people that's working on Big's case. It's some people that are trying to come up with enough evidence to get those files reopened, get those cases that were sealed, unsealed. And when that happens, we're gonna be quite all.
But the controversy didn't stop there. Just months after Biggie's death, Rolling Stone approached Bad Boy for a major cover story. According to Kirk Burroughs, the label's co-founder and president at the time, he suggested the magazine honor the notorious B.I.G. Instead, Burroughs recalls Diddy shutting it down, saying, "No, he's dead. I'm releasing my debut album, No Way Out, in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone." As a result, Diddy appeared on the magazine's August 1997 cover, a decision that sparked backlash across the industry. Even Death Row Records' Suge Knight, a figure notorious in his own right, criticized the move, remarking that when Tupac Shakur died, he didn't grab a microphone. He picked up the pieces. Taken together, these moments suggest that beneath the public image, the relationship between Diddy and Biggie may have been far more strained than fans were ever led to believe.
On Bad Boy, do you think he was planning on leaving?
I feel that he was happy about his career. He was happy about the blow up. He was always on the line. He never let us feel comfortable like, oh, y'all did me right. Oh, I'm loving you guys right now. He would never give it up like that. He would always have us under pressure to keep doing it bigger and better. I honestly, when I look back on it, if he trusted Sean more, it would have been better. But he didn't trust him as much as the way Sean says they were best friends after he was dead. No, I didn't see that during the time we were working with him. I see that as an emotional cry out after he's gone. I saw him as wanting his music and everything to be right, have the number ones, and we delivered that. I think there might have been a little bit of a hole or a gap when it came time to people being friends. I think Sean wanted friendship too. He might have wanted the best friend thing. Biggie came with his friends and came with everything and was about to open up to the world with all kinds of new friends and new people. This tragic incident happened, and now he did belong to the world, but not even to us anymore. It was like he was gone, we had the music, and now we were left with his legacy. He was happy about blowing up. I can tell you he was happy about his success. He was happy about the stature that he had. I don't know if he was very happy about staying with us forever.
And now, even Biggie's own mother is demanding that the truth finally come to light. After decades of unanswered questions and lingering suspicions, she wants Diddy fully exposed, adding one of the most powerful and heartbreaking voices yet to a controversy that refuses to stay buried.
Hey, here go Ms. Wallace.
Hey, Ms. Wallace, Gene Deal.
Oh, hi, Gene. How are you?
All right, man, you know I ain't seen you since I came to your house and had that conversation with you. How you been? You all right?
I've been okay. I've been watching you on Facebook.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wallace, I'm sorry I had to do what I had to do, but you know, it is what it is.
Okay. I know you do.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Like I told people, I said if Ms. Wallace would have called me and told me to shut it down, I would have shut it down. Ms. Wallace ain't called. She knew how to get in touch with me. If Ms. Wallace didn't tell me to shut it down, I'm going to keep doing it because I respect you, Ms. Wallace.
Do what you do.
Thank you, Ma. I appreciate you.
What you do.
What was the backstory behind that, Big Mom calling you?
My man, that had to be, if I say exhilarating, it has to be one of the highlights of coming out here and doing what I've done over the last, since 97. Since 97. Since I seen Ms. Wallace. You know what I'm saying? To hold Ms. Wallace's hand and explain to what happened to her son that night. It was one of the, I guess, most emotional times I've ever had in my life. Because here I am explaining how your son died. When he was calling Ms. Wallace, I was screaming, yo, tell her I want to talk to her, I want to talk to her. But they had me on mute. But him being an outright brother and straight, he said, yo, Ms. Wallace, I got Jean on the phone. And she said, Jean Deal? And he said, yeah, Jean Deal. He want to speak to her. She said, I watch his stuff on Facebook and YouTube all the time. And I was like, yo, my man, to hear Ms. Wallace, Big Mother say that, brother, it sent a chill down me because it reminded me of Wolf Mother, Ms. Mama Jones. She gave me her rights to say what I needed to say on the behalf of her son. She gave me her blessings. She came on my program. So, bruh, to hear Ms. Wallace say that, and the first thing I said as a gentleman, I said, hey, Ms. Wallace, how you doing? And then I wanted her to know that I respect her to the fullest. And the first thing I said was, Ms. Wallace, if you tell me to stop, leave Puff, stop, no, I didn't say leave Puff. If you tell me to stop doing what I'm doing, I will. She said, no, G, I watch you. You keep doing it. You doing a good job. You, man, listen here. Yo, I was happier than one of them boys at a Diddy party. I was so happy, man, it was crazy. Cause this was the first time I had talked to Miss Wallace since the last time I talked to her and was telling her about Big's death. And she said I didn't want to hear that.
When combined with more than 100 accusations now tied to Diddy, these revelations have pushed many to re-examine his past interviews with fresh scrutiny. One resurfaced clip has gone viral on TikTok, showing Diddy discussing the infamous East Coast, West Coast feud between Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. reflecting on the escalating tension. Diddy recalls calling Biggie after Tupac released his explosive diss track, Hit 'Em Up. He says he urged Biggie not to respond, warning that retaliation could get someone seriously hurt. Diddy acknowledged that the track didn't just target Biggie. It also went after Diddy, Bad Boy Records, and their entire circle, dramatically intensifying the rivalry. He even reminisced that if the song played at a party, they would rush to shut it down by taking over the DJ's turntable. Now, amid these resurfaced comments, rumors are swirling that Tupac's family may be considering a wrongful death lawsuit involving Diddy. The speculation follows renewed attention on claims that Diddy allegedly offered $1 million for Tupac's killing, an allegation made by Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a former gang leader who has since been charged in Tupac's murder. Gene Deal has also suggested that what he describes as Diddy's fixation on Tupac may have played a role in the events leading up to the fatal shooting. While these claims remain disputed, their reemergence has reopened one of hip-hop's darkest chapters and raised questions many believed would never resurface.
Everybody knew that Puff took Tupac blueprint and changed Biggs and Bad Boy in image. I Get Around, talked about how fly you was, how many girls you mess with, how many cars you drive, how much money you got, what you willing to do. He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes will do that. You'll never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody else got. He was knocking down all the women that he thought Pac was knocking down. And what I mean is having sex with. Why would you want to have sex with women you know for sure a dude that was once cool with you was dealing with? That's that image. Because you got to realize, bruh, Puff and Pac was cool at one time. We know this. Mopreme said that they was going to sign the Bad Boy. So if he was going to sign to Bad Boy, it was because of Corey and them. I put that picture on the internet. I put the picture on my channel of Corey Jones, Is Corey Jones, Corey Jacobs? I think Corey Jacobs. And Pac right next to each other. Those are the ones who got the 16 to life sentences. That Pac was gonna go and be with them first. But then Mopreem said when it became just Big and Puff, because Corey then went to jail, he changed his direction. But nobody know why Pac and Puff fell out like they did. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used. That shit is crazy. So when I say I'm obsessed with talking about Puff and telling y'all the truth, who's obsessed with who? Pac had Sarah before Puff. Allegedly, he had Sally before Puff. And Kim had an obsession or liked Pac so much, she on the red carpet with Tupac shirt on. Who's obsessed with who?
So you believe Diddy, he only got with Sarah Chapman because Pac, he had her at one point.
And it was a bet in the office. Sarah was messing with an NBA basketball.
Diddy is also facing a wave of deeply serious allegations, including a lawsuit filed by an unnamed woman that describes a violent sexual assault in 2018. According to the complaint, she alleges that Diddy assaulted her using a television remote and later took part in a group attack with another individual. The lawsuit further claims that the alleged assault occurred after she confronted him during a FaceTime call, accusing him of having ordered the killing of Tupac Shakur. While these claims remain unproven and are being contested, their severity has intensified scrutiny around Diddy and added yet another disturbing layer to an already explosive series of accusations.